Alright, hello and welcome back to Tom Q's Tech Tips. Today we are revisiting one of my favorite topics, and I'm going to call this one, and quite ambitiously, Mastering SuperSource Animation using Mix Effect Pro, which if you have a Blackmagic designed ATEM switcher, you should already know about Mix Effect. But if you don't, it is a program, an iOS app designed for iPhone and iPad that also happens to work on an M series Macs. And it basically controls the entire switcher. You can do everything that the Blackmagic design software can do, but today we are focusing on what Mix Effect does for SuperSource animation, which makes controlling an ATEM that can do SuperSource animation to a level that, as far as I know, is not possible with the ATEM software. So, I'm going to be using the ATEM Mini Extreme ISO. I am told in the Mix Effect documentation that it also works with these other switchers, and by the time you watch this video, maybe it's even compatible with some additional ones. But anyway, so I'm revisiting SuperSource animation because of a project that I've been working on, and I will just say this before we get going. I just want to say something about boxes in SuperSource animation. So basically, you have 4 inputs that you can animate, and those 4 inputs will be layered on top of your background art. The number 4 box is always on the bottom of the stack. The number 1 box is always on the top of the stack, and then, as you might imagine, 2 and 3 are layered in between those. You cannot reorder these, you cannot move them around in the stacks, you have to make your plans accordingly. So, without any further ado there, the project that I was working on, or I'm beginning to think about working on, is basically some Mac tutoring. So, making some very basic videos on how to use the Finder and how to use system preferences, or what is now called, I think, system settings. And I sometimes in those videos, sometimes, let's move my picture a little bit here. So I might have my picture down in the corner like this. And sometimes I need to display my trackpad and what my fingers might be doing in order to demonstrate how to use the trackpad, sliding left and right, going up and down, the 2-finger scroll, all those kinds of things, a 2-finger click. And then there are additional times when I might need to also show the keyboard. So I might need to be doing a control click, or command Q, or command option escape, or command delete. So I just need to show the keyboard once in a while. Need to make that keyboard go away. I might need to show the trackpad without my face. I might not want to be showing anything on the screen. So anyway, those little animations that you saw is just something that occurred to me. We're going to talk about cropping boxes, and so the ability to crop boxes, I discovered that you can actually crop boxes all the way off the screen and without moving the actual box off the screen. So, in other words, you can make the box disappear by just cropping it all the way out. So that got me to thinking. Actually, let me just show you one more thing. This is something that I'd like to work on in the future. Right now, I'm actually just using Keynote to do this, but I'd like to be able to animate borders and titles and things like that. But anyway, that will be a subject for another video. If you're interested in that, let me know. So basically, I'm going to have the ability here to show you what is happening inside the box how am I going to do this? Let's switch over to one of these other presets. So this is one of the default presets that comes with Mix Effect. And so what you're seeing on these two different screens is what is happening not just inside the program area, inside the area where whatever boxes you are displaying are visible to your audience. But down at the bottom, you'll also be seeing the things that are going on outside the program area. So the bottom part is only going to be interesting when I am animating boxes off the screen. So for instance, let's do this right here. So in this case, all of the boxes animated off the screen, and you were looking at what is effectively my background art, which is a yellow screen. I've chosen that color because if you make a favorite preset in Mix Effect and there are basically transparent areas where some of the boxes are not covering the screen, it will be this color. So what you're seeing down below in this scenario is all of the boxes are living off the screen. And so when I click a preset, they're going to animate from those positions into their position on the screen. I'm going to do that again. We'll click another one. So that's what the bottom view is for. So in many cases, if I'm not using a scenario where, let's do another, these are off screen. Here's another off screen. So we're going to go off screen slow, full screen, where instead of on the top and the bottom, all the boxes are either going to the left or to the right. Let's do one that's called a sliver. This is actually cropping the boxes. I think I might have a slow version of that. Let's see. Let's do this again. All right, so here's one where the boxes will be animating off the screen and cropping themselves down to a little sliver at the same time. So we're gonna go take a look at this. And so anyway, the defaults that you get with Mix Effect, if you've got all four boxes on the screen and you animate to another preset that has all four boxes on the screen, animations are going to be smooth and just really beautiful. So where I ran into something I didn't like was when you're going from, let's say, a 4-box to a 2-box. So I'm going to go ahead and click one of the presets that comes with Mix Effect that has 2 boxes. I'm currently on a 4-box, obviously. And so you'll notice that when I transition from the 4 to the 2, boxes 3 and 4 are disappearing off the screen just instantaneously. And if you're in kind of a cut mode and you're not animating, there is no problem with that whatsoever. However, when I go back to the 4-box, you'll notice that it kind of animates back into the screen. So it's like, what's going on here? And why is this one dropping boxes 3 and 4, and why is it animating in when I go to the 4-box? So obviously all 4 boxes are active with this particular preset. When I go over to this one, and what we're going to do is go up to the SSRC, SuperSource editor, and we're going to scroll down and take a look at some things. So in this preset, we have boxes 1 and 2 that are enabled, and the only difference in the settings between the two of them is the X position. Y is the same, the crops are the same, the size is the same. And then if I move over to boxes 3 and 4, you'll notice that they do have settings for the X and Y position. In fact, they're set exactly to be in the center, but the boxes are disabled. And the reason for this is that if I enable these boxes, even you can see that it appeared in the center of the screen. So this is box number 4, appeared in the center of the screen, even though the size of the box is down as far as it goes in the Blackmagic control. So basically, Mix Effect is mirroring what Blackmagic Design allows in the controls of the size of a box. For whatever reason, and I can't imagine what it is, Blackmagic Design has decided that 0.07 is the smallest you can make a box. Same thing with box number 3. Adam has programmed in his default that the size be as small as it can. So when I turn this on, it appears on the screen. Now, what's occurred to me as I was playing around with those wipes that I was doing in the Ventura demo there for a moment, showing the keyboard and the trackpad and my face and wiping those boxes off the screen within the boundaries of the program, it occurred to me that that's a possibility here. So with that, I can get a lot of additional animation possibilities using this section down below. So I've been concentrating on the animation possibilities using the X and Y position, moving boxes off the screen. So just as an example, let's make box number 3 big, and then if I take the Y position, I could move box 3 down. So we'll get that back down up to 0 and pop it back down to the smallest size that it goes. That's what I've been doing. I've been animating things off the screen using the X and Y position, and I have been using the cropping. I've been using, my face picture in picture, a little box, so cropping out the 16 by 9 down to more of a square in many cases. So I've been using crops. It just never occurred to me to use a crop to take the entire box off the screen within the bounds of the preview of the program area. So if we're in box number 3 and I come down to this top crop, I can, with one simple top-down wipe, I could take box number 3 out of view. So what you're seeing is actually that's box number 4 behind box number 3. If I come over to box number 4 and do the same exact thing, you'll see box number 4 kind of wiping top down off the screen. Or if I choose, I could do a left to right wipe or a right to left wipe. And don't necessarily, when these are animating and we've taken the size down to 0, when you're with this particular animation, all 4 sides are animating down at the same time. So I don't think I necessarily want it to then, when it hits that limit, to then do a wipe. Although that could be an interesting thing. So here's what I've done is I have taken all the presets, the default presets, and I've enabled the boxes, all 4 boxes, whether they're active boxes or not. Enabled them. If they're not ones that are being displayed on the screen, I'm taking the size down to 0.07, and I'm going to be cropping. Let's just take this back just a little bit so you can see that I'm doing. I'm going to be cropping them all, and I'm going to be taking these all the way up. And just to make it easy, I'm just going to crank these all the way to the right, so that it's actually more than cropping it out. It's cropping it down to less than 0. So let's go back and do that for box number 3. Just do the left and the bottom and the right. And it doesn't look like anything's happening right now, but basically when I start animating this, I'm going to slide up to the top, press and hold, save the layout. And when I come back to my presets now, and I go up to a 4 box, I've got the same animation from 2 to 4, because on this scenario, all 4 boxes are enabled. But now when I go back to this preset, it's animating in much the same way that it was animating with this one. So they're animating off the screen or out of view within the bounds of the program area. And so now I've actually done that to these guys, which it wouldn't have mattered going from a 2 to a 2, but when I go from a 4 to a 2, we're getting that animation. So anyway, with this scenario, if no matter, you could take the default, if you like animation like I do, you could take all the defaults without doing much tinkering. You could just click on one, go up to the SuperSource editor, make sure boxes 3 and 4 are turned on, or whatever boxes are not visible, make sure they're turned on. Take the size all the way down, take the crops all the way up, and then save your preset. And you will have, no matter what you go to, let's just click this one. So I'm going from a 4 to a 2 in this scenario. To me, it actually looks really nice, looks really smooth. Let's just go from here to here. Got no other boxes besides number 2. I think I'm still going to be using, I've recently watched one of my older videos, and I really enjoy the animations that go off the screen. So anyway, I've created some different presets here that were basically showing the different options. So, and there's really more than this, because you could do wipes in different directions. But anyway, let's just click a few of these. Let's narrow this down to some slow ones. And so let's see, let's go here. So this is going from 4 boxes, and then this is basically having all of them turned off in the way that I just demonstrated. So whether you're going from, whatever it is you might be coming from when you animate out, you're going into you're going into the program area. Let's go to this. Let's go to this one. This one is off-screen full-size boxes. In other words, I'm not scaling the boxes as I go off the screen. They're just going, boxes 1 and 3 are going to the left. Boxes 2 and 4 are going to the right. And here's, you know what? I don't have a slow version of the alternate. Let me just go to take that out, and I'll just show you that alternate again. So this, instead of both 1 and 3 going off the screen and 2 and 4 going to the right, 1 will be going up, 4 will be going down, 3 to the left, 2 to the right. So anyway, and you're seeing down below where the boxes are stored in that preset. So let's go back to the slow one. Let's go to the sliver. So this one is actually a sliver in the center. Oh, here we go. Let's try this. All right. So boxes are going off the screen, but they're being cropped at the same time. So as opposed to it's a subtle difference. I'm not actually even sure which one I prefer. You can decide whether you like the extra animation of the boxes shrinking as they move off the screen, or shrinking. There are just so many possibilities. Let me go back up to this one, which I think I ruined. This was not minimum crop. So let's go back up here and look at this. So I initially had these set to the very minimum amount of crop that would work if it was just the left and the right, or just the top and the bottom. So it would be 16 on the top, on the left and on the right, and it will be 9 on the top and the bottom. So this would actually have to be done for all the boxes. I'm just going to kind of quickly eyeball it here. If I get anywhere close to 16, all right, so a little bit, very close to 9, very close to 16. Have to do the same thing for these. All right, press and hold, say preset, go back to these guys. All right, so here's the minimum crops. And I don't really like the effect, but the idea is, depending on how you crop things out, it is going to give you a different effect. Just goes to show that there's many ways that you could do this animation if you combine scaling, position, so size would be the scaling, position would be where the box is horizontally and vertically, and then cropping. So don't forget the cropping. That was what I was not doing, is considering the possibility of making a box disappear using the crops. So I think that's all I've got for you today. So thank you for tuning in to Tom Q's Tech Tips. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. Thank you so much, and have a good day. Bye for now.